Donald Trump held a rally in Texas recently, and there were some real nutter butters roving about. Oh my God, it got crazy. I just wanted to look at a couple of the more interesting ones. So let's take a look at what they had to say. Late October 2022, listen to this dude with a Trump 2024 flag shirt or whatever.
Biblical principles that Trump embraces is what I really like about him. I've never heard another president invoke the name of God and Jesus more than I've heard President Donald J. Trump. And that's the main thing for me, is that he's embracing biblical principles and follow the Bible, and you can't go wrong.
I love that. And he got the kid.
Dude, what? Donald Trump embracing biblical principles? He follows the Bible closer than any other president? Is that what he said? Are you kidding me? No. No to literally all of that. Where did this guy get this incorrect perception of Donald Trump? Who told this guy that Trump likes the Bible at all or likes Jesus? Has Trump ever been to church a day in his life? I don't know. What church does he go to? Does he have a church that he goes to, a standard one that he goes every Sunday? Does he zoom in or whatever to a church every Sunday? When's the last time Trump ever talked about the Bible? Every time the dude talks about the Bible, it's to mess something up, like talking about 2 Corinthians. Who says 2 Corinthians? You know who says 2 Corinthians? People who've never read the Bible. People who have never actually been to church and associated with other Christians and discussed the Bible with them. Trump is in no way, shape, or form like a biblical person at all. Where are these people's heads? I just don't get it. It's like they're making up their own reality as they go. Again, this is all from the same Trump rally, all in late October 2022. So check this next one out. Oh yeah, this dude's entertaining to me, actually. Honestly, think about this. He should be on radio. And it's kind of a travesty with a voice like this that he's not. Listen to this.
Pelosi said that could turn blue. She said that 2 years ago. So if they cheat, which Mike Lindell said there was 100 million or a million votes stolen. So.
You know who he sounds like? Randy Savage. He's a dead ringer for Randy Savage's voice. He should have done radio. That would have been awesome. Anyway, okay, so let me just try to wrap up this guy's worldview or his claims in a nice, neat little package. Pelosi said Texas is going to go blue 2 years ago, and Mike Lindell said that there were 100 million votes stolen in Texas, and it's still not blue. Like, what's his logic here? I don't understand. Only 6 million people voted in Texas in the first place. Only 6 million people, okay, in Texas. This guy's saying Mike Lindell claimed that 100 million votes were stolen in Texas. That's like another level of crazy, like an additional layer of it. These people are unhinged, dude. They are absolutely unhinged. Listen to this one. This dude is apparently a January 6th defendant. Check this out.
What did you see that day?
I saw lots of Antifa, and I know how to recognize them in a crowd.
I guess he's talking about January 6th. He knows how to recognize Antifa in a crowd. Wow, okay.
I was out on the West Coast. I was like a big Burning Man festival person, so I've seen these Antifa scum. I know what they look like. I smelled a rat. I didn't get anywhere close to the Capitol because I was...
You know, this is kind of sad, honestly. The underlying assumptions behind what this guy is saying is that Antifa are physically different in some way than Republicans or than regular society or whatever other thing. The same claims were made about Jews and black people, as a matter of fact. It was called phrenology. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It's the idea that skull shapes are different between the different races and can help indicate that somebody is smarter or better or in some bizarre way. So white people are like superior because black people's skulls are shaped differently or whatever. That was phrenology. And it feels like that's what this guy is laying out, because the original claim about January 6th is that Antifa came in and dressed up as Trump supporters and pretended to bust into the Capitol to frame Trump supporters, innocent Trump supporters, for whatever thing. So how is it that this guy was capable of identifying bad Antifa people or whatever, if not by phrenology or by some other physical attribute that they had? If you remember, during World War II, there was a bunch of, like, there were propaganda posters and stuff portraying Jewish people with like bigger noses and bigger ears and foreheads and all this other stuff because they wanted you to think that they were not really human. Is that what this guy is laying out for us? It feels like that's kind of what he's getting at here, right? Is it just me?
Person, so I've seen these Antifa scum. I know what they look like. I smelled a rat. I didn't get anywhere close to the Capitol because I was going to wait and see what it was going to be like.
It's also not.
He got a little close to the Capitol, or he wouldn't have become a January 6th defendant in the first place.
Let's also not forget her.
Everyone forgets Roseanne Boylan. If I ever have a daughter, I'm going to name her Roseanne.
Roseanne who?
Roseanne Boylan, and of course Roseanne Barr, the other greatest American.
Sorry, Roseanne Barr?
Roseanne Barr.
All right, that was a...
Yeah, okay, so this is where it gets interesting. Okay, we're about to go down a rabbit hole, so buckle up for this one. Why does QAnon love Roseanne so much is the question, right? Why do they love Roseanne Barr? If you don't know who Roseanne Barr is, she's just this she was a sitcom star back in like the 90s or something. She was on a TV show called Roseanne, and it was kind of funny. It had John Goodman. John Goodman was like the husband or whatever of Roseanne. Here's a picture of them on screen, if you can make that out there. I don't know, I was kind of entertained by the TV show back in the day. Well, anyway, check this out. Let me explain why they love Roseanne Barr so much, okay? We have to start our journey down the rabbit hole with a fella named Larry Gators. May 12th, 2021 is when this comes out. Check out what he had to say here. He was talking to a couple of QAnoners named Francine and Hank Fosdick? I forget the guy's name. Maybe it's Hank. Anyway, Francine Fosdick, anyway. Check this out.
Tom Hanks is dead. Newsflash. Tom Hanks is dead.
You know what? Maybe his name is Dan. Francine and Dan.
That's right.
Dead. Joe Biden is dead.
Yes.
Okay.
Come on. He took the shot.
Clintons are dead. Okay.
Yeah.
You got clones running this country.
Right.
I told you it was going to get wicked bizarre, right? I did mention that before we went down the rabbit hole, didn't I?
Right.
See, I got the testicular fortitude to say what needs to be said. Why? Because I'm a man of God.
That's right.
Trump has the military who turned their back on Joe Biden.
That's right. That's right.
And Trump has Air Force One. Patriots,
Come on.
QAnons, President Trump is still the president.
Wow. Wow to all of that, right? Larry Gators. So I hear you saying to yourself, who is this Larry Gators fella here and why should I care, right? Before we continue, I just wanted to mention something. If you like what I do and you want to see me continue to do it, you can support me in a few ways. First, there's Patreon. That's probably the best way. But if you want to get something back for your support, you can check out my Teespring. Or you can check out my Telltale Unfiltered channel. I go through long-form, unhinged sermons from all kinds of people, from Hank Kunneman to Greg Locke to Jehovah's Witnesses. So give it a look. Links are in the description. Okay, now back to the video. As it turns out, he interviewed none other than our very own Roseanne Barr. Mid-July 2021 is when this interview came out. This is one of the things that made Roseanne a massive figure in the QAnon movement. She is incredibly popular in this movement. Check this out, what they had to say to each other.
You know what God told me? He said, I want Roseanne.
Go tell me, Roseanne. What did God say to you?
Calm down,
Yes.
because I have a mission for you. I said, what is it, Lord? You know
Right.
I'll do it. If I have proved that to you by now,
That's
even
right.
if it gets me fired and in trouble, you know I'll do it. If you
Such a martyr, right? Oh, Roseanne sacrifices herself for everybody around her. Even if it gets her into trouble, God, she does what God says, right?
put it rightly to me, you've seen that. So
Right.
it says, yes, Roseanne, I do. I have something I want you to do. I want you to tell people that I am mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore.
This is just terrible, dude. I've played this before. I think it was a year ago when this first came out. But when I played it that first time, I think somebody told me that this is actually a quote from a movie. So I guess God watches American cinema and watched the movie Network, which, by the by, came out in 1976. The movie came out in 1976. Oh my God, dude. 1976 American satirical black comedy drama film released by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. I'm blown away that she decided to quote from this. I'm sorry, my mistake. I'm blown away that God chose to quote from this movie of all things. What an odd movie to pick, but I'm not God. God knows best, right? He knows everything, and he, can't be questioned. We have to go with what he says. So he decided to quote from the movie Network. I guess we got to go with what he says, right?
He said,
That's
you
right.
tell them, Roseanne,
Angry.
that's what I have to say to them right now. And if they can't
That's
figure
right.
out why, at least tune in to what?
What? I don't understand. What's she even talking about? What does that mean? Tune into what? Is this another movie quote?
See what is happening right in front of your eyes, and
That's
Roseanne
right.
will then explain it, as will Bishop Larry.
Please, I'm listening. I'm all ears. You got my attention right now. Lay it on me. What is it? Tell me. Tell me what I need to know. Would you be surprised to find that instead of telling people what they need to know, they just complain about being martyrs?
Will explain
Yes, ma'am.
why. If you're
Yes.
any kind of conservative like me, they blacklist you.
I'm so sorry for millionaire Roseanne. How much money she has. She shouldn't be blacklisted, right? Poor woman. So mistreated. Has everything she wants except for a platform, I guess. She has to go out there like a normal person and stand on a street corner screaming at people all the crazy stuff she believes, rather than being blessed with a gigantic platform like every other rich person.
They have blacklisted me for years because I wanted to talk about, the things that ain't right.
Yes.
And they
No, actually, you know what Roseanne got blacklisted for? It's actually pretty messed up. I looked into this last time we did this, but let's just look this up and read about it because I want to give you guys a little bit of an update. So this article is from 2018, which is what really got Roseanne. This is like the time that Roseanne really got cut off from a lot of stuff. This is from the New York Times. Why Ambien didn't make Roseanne tweet anything. After saying some of the stuff that she said, she claimed that it was an Ambien tweet and it was a mistake and she regretted it and she was sorry and blah, 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 right? So what did she tweet? I hear you asking. It was 2 a.m. and I was Ambien tweeting. That's how Roseanne Barr explained her now infamous slur about Valerie Jarrett, a former senior advisor to President Obama. On Thursday, Ambien's manufacturer was quick to respond. People of all races, religions, and nationalities work at Sanofi every day to improve the lives of people around the world. While all pharmaceutical treatments have side effects, racism is not a known side effect of any Sanofi medication. I feel like I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but I did my best. After racist tweet, Roseanne Barr's show is canceled by ABC. On Tuesday, that all came crashing down. ABC abruptly canceled Roseanne hours after Ms. Barr, the show's star and co-creator, posted a racist tweet about Valerie Jarrett, an African-American woman who was a senior advisor to Barack Obama throughout his presidency and considered one of the most influential aides. Ms. Barr wrote, "If the Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby equals Valerie Jarrett." That's what she said. So right here, if the Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby, that is the hard-hitting truth that everybody needed to know that got Roseanne canceled. This is the thing that Roseanne wanted to tell the world that was worth losing her career, becoming a martyr for, because not enough people knew that she wanted to tweet about this black person being like if the Muslim Brotherhood and the Planet of the Apes had a baby.
blacklist you.
Yes.
They have blacklisted me for years because I wanted to talk about, the things that ain't right.
No, it's because she's a racist. A rabid racist who blames everything and everybody but herself for that racism.
Yes.
And they don't want to hear it. They're censors, just like all the rest of them. Fascist
And nothing
censors
has
on the
changed.
left and the right. Listen, anybody that is not going to let me speak,
That's right.
Just f*** 'em.
Roseanne, if you didn't want to be canceled, maybe try not doing a racism. Would you be surprised to find that I have never been canceled for being racist? You know why? Because I do my best to improve race relations and fight for acceptance and inclusion and all of that stuff. That's why. What did Roseanne ever do to fight for inclusion and acceptance? What did she ever do to help society integrate and work together and appreciate each other? Instead of trying to help people come together and work with each other and integrate, she's out here making blatantly racist jokes. I'm sorry, I just have no sympathy. I just don't. And it's honestly embarrassing that this guy Larry Gators bothered to have her on. But you know what? When you're a QAnoner and there's another famous person who's also a QAnoner, doesn't matter what they've said in the past. You bring them on and you talk to them and you build them up and do everything you can to integrate them into the movement, of course. So the point is, Roseanne is a massive QAnon figure. To my surprise, honestly. Of all people, Roseanne, really? Okay. But here's where it gets interesting. There's somebody else that showed up at the Trump rally late October 2022. This is Bianca Grazia. She is a leader for the group Latinos for Trump. Now, David Pakman talked about this when he mentioned it. He didn't know if it was real. It's real. This is a real group, and I've done some research into these people before, right? This is Bianca Grazia, January 6th, the night of January 6th, talking to the leader of Lawyers for Trump, Vets for Trump, Oath Keepers, and Senator Amanda Chase. That's who these people are. From left to right, Oath Keepers leader Stuart Rhodes, Senator Amanda Chase. The guy in the middle there is Vets for Trump leader. And then second from the right is Lawyers for Trump. And then on the far right, there is Bianca Grazia, leader of Latinos for Trump. These people were discussing creating a private army for Donald Trump.
The sisters coming back, and those who come in on the U.S. shores that are having to deal with some type of PTS or things from being downrange. Well, that same community are the most well-trained, crucible-trained combat veterans this world has ever seen.
So there, yeah. Anyways, this is a real person with a real organization behind her. She actually ran for public office, I think for House of Representatives or something like that. But in recent months, she's actually given up on Trump, surprisingly. Blew me away when I discovered this clip right here, late August 2022, of Bianca Grazia, leader of Latinos for Trump, going out there and effectively denouncing Donald Trump. Listen to this.
Because I did not listen to your voice. I didn't go seek your counsel. I stopped. Whatever it is, you've got to do what you've got to do. You're going to keep getting attacked because if you do not surround yourself with people who are used to fighting principalities in a spiritual realm, you're going to get your butt handed to you every single time.
This was immediately after Mar-a-Lago was searched by the FBI for the stolen classified documents that Donald Trump took. And her reasoning is, if Donald Trump was protected by God, then these things wouldn't be happening to him. And she noted that he hasn't had evangelical, or more specifically Latino evangelical leaders around him, and that's why he was being attacked.
And I don't know if he just doesn't know that. I think he definitely doesn't have Hispanic evangelicals around him. I can tell you that. I know it. We see it. There's no, faith leaders coming in and out of Mar-a-Lago right now.
So, yeah, it was absolutely fascinating that she kind of backed away from Trump immediately after Mar-a-Lago took place. Well, check this out. She was at the Texas rally again, late October 2022, and here's what she had to say about it.
I have a message for Trump. I have a message from the Lord for him, and I need to get that message to him to tell him that he is to call this nation to fast, pray, and repent, including himself and all the leaders, even faith leaders, because God wants his people back, and he wants Trump back. And Trump used to surround himself with faith leaders, and then COVID hit, and he was separated from faith leaders. And, he thinks he's fighting flesh, and he's actually fighting in a bigger realm that he maybe doesn't understand, or no one's explained it to him. And I don't know if he's surrounded around people that just won't let us get this message to him, but it's important.
That's absolutely bizarre to me, dude. It's absolutely bizarre that one of the key components to Trump's support base, the leader of Latinos for Trump, has folded on him. That's kind of what I'm pulling from this, right? Is it just me? I mean, that's what it seems like to me.
I've been traveling the United States identifying those leaders that can be assembled that understand the spiritual war that we're in. So it's not Bianca, it is God. I'm sorry. Because he gives me that. He is telling me who these are the people that my remnant that I want to be called to bring this country back to me.
Amen.
So she obviously is a deep evangelical, completely out of her head on Jesus, like to an unhealthy degree at this point. And she seems to believe that Trump is not out of his head on Jesus, which, hey, correct. You're absolutely right. He's not. How did you get to this conclusion? And how can we get everybody else in your base to accept this? Why do people like this guy right here even exist?
The biblical principles that Trump embraces is what I really like about him.
What? I don't understand. How did you get to this conclusion? And why can't we get everybody to reach the correct conclusion, which is that the dude never gave a shit about religion? You know what he cared about? He cared about controlling people and manipulating them and getting them to vote for him. That's what he cared about the entire time. That's what he's always been about. How is it that this one person caught on to the grift, but like everybody else seems to think that he's like a messiah? How did this happen? I just don't get it, dude. Let me know what you think in the comments or on Twitter at Telltale Atheist.